Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
I still remember the smell of spaghetti sauce simmering on the stove that night, the kind of ordinary detail that burns itself into memory because nothing was ordinary after that moment. I stood in the kitchen clutching the pregnancy test, its faint pink lines trembling in my hand as badly as my fingers. Dad, Mom, my voice cracked. I need to tell you something. Logan turned from the table, his newspaper folded with military precision. This better not be another excuse for your grades slipping, he muttered. My mother, Samantha, didn't look up from polishing her nails. Well, spit it out. I'm pregnant, I whispered. The word fell into the room like glass shattering. The silence lasted only a breath before my father's face flushed crimson. He slammed his fist on the table so hard the plates rattled. You've ruined everything, Molly. Do you realize the shame you've brought on us? Tears blurred my vision. I didn't plan this. I thought you'd help me. Help you? My mother's laugh was cold, brittle. Do you expect us to parade a teenage mother around? No. You're no daughter of ours anymore. She turned her head as though even looking at me sullied her. I reached out, desperate. Please, Mom, I need you. Pack your things, my father snapped. His hand adjusted the gold watch on his wrist, as if this was a business deal being terminated. 10 minutes. Get out. My legs carried me upstairs on autopilot. I shoved clothes into a duffel, my tears dripping onto the fabric. The family photo on my nightstand stared back at me, our smiling faces a lie. On impulse, I stuffed the small silver necklace my grandmother had given me into my pocket. It was the only piece of love I had left. When the door slammed behind me, the sound was final, like a gavel striking. I stood in the Portland night, cold air biting my skin, clutching my bag like it could anchor me. Through the window, I saw my parents turn the family portrait face down. In that moment, I felt erased. Homelessness didn't wait for grief. I wandered the streets with nowhere to go, curling up on a bench under dim streetlights. My body shook with sobs until exhaustion claimed me. Somewhere in the wreckage of that night, a vow took root. One day I will rise from this. And when I do, they will remember what they threw away. The morning after being cast out, the city felt colder than the night had. My duffel was heavy on my shoulder, my stomach hollow from both hunger and dread. I walked aimlessly, each step echoing the truth I refused to accept. I had no home anymore. At the corner of 5th and Alder, I sank onto a bus stop bench. My hands were raw from the chill, my eyes swollen from crying. People passed without seeing me until she appeared. The woman in the red coat. Her coat was crimson wool, out of place against the gray drizzle of Portland. She moved with quiet confidence, stopping when her eyes met mine. For a moment I froze, ashamed of my tears, my swollen face, my trembling body. "Sweetheart," she said gently, lowering herself onto the bench beside me. "Are you lost?" Her voice was warm, the kind that cracked something in me I'd been holding tight. I shook my head, then whispered, "I'm not allowed home anymore." Her eyes softened. "Not allowed? Who would say that to you?" "My parents," I choked. "I'm pregnant." For a heartbeat, I expected her face to twist in judgment like my parents. Instead, she laid a gloved hand over mine. "Then you need people who will stand with you, not against you." Her kindness split me open. Tears spilled, harder than before. "I don't know where to go." She reached into her bag, pulling out a card. "My name is Marion. There's a shelter downtown for young women. I'll take you there. But first," she paused, studying me. "You must promise me something. You will never again believe you're worthless. Not for a moment." I wanted to believe her words. For the first time since last night, a flicker of hope rose within me. That small flicker grew brighter weeks later when I met Tamara Clark. She was unlike anyone I had ever known, wealthy, commanding, yet disarmingly kind. Tamara saw through my brokenness and refused to let me collapse beneath it. She took me in, gave me a roof, and with steady patience began teaching me the language of business. "It's not enough to survive, Molly," she said one evening, her red nails tapping a ledger. "You must learn to build. That is how you outgrow the chains of the past." Under her guidance, a small circle formed around me. A lawyer with a sharp mind, an IT specialist with restless energy, an AI developer with vision, and a marketing manager who believed in telling stories that mattered. They became more than allies. They became my armor. But life was cruel still. A miscarriage shattered me, leaving me hollow and sleepless. And yet, from the ashes of grief came Everly. Adoption papers trembled in my hands the day I first held her, her tiny fingers curling around mine as though she had been waiting all along. From that day forward, every line of code I wrote, every AI project I launched, every ounce of my growing public presence was built not just for me, but for her. And deep down, I knew. One day, this carefully woven life would be the very net to catch my parents in their own greed. Years blurred into decades, and tomorrow's lessons became my compass. With my team, I carved a path in information technology and artificial intelligence that few could ignore. Awards, interviews, partnerships, all of it carefully curated. Everly grew alongside my work, her name and image woven into the narrative, a living emblem of resilience. But the night I was erased never truly left me. By the time I was 42, Portland no longer felt like the city where I had been abandoned. It was the city I had conquered. I had my 25-year-old daughter, my team, and a career my parents could never have imagined. Yet ghosts have a cruel habit of returning when you least expect them. It was a Sunday evening when the letter arrived. The handwriting on the envelope made my stomach twist. It was my father's. I stood in my office, staring at it as though it might bite. My hands trembled when I tore it open. We are prepared to take legal steps to claim our rightful place in Everly's life. We have been denied long enough. Consider this your notice. My breath caught. After 22 years of silence, they hadn't returned with apologies or remorse, but with demands. I pressed the paper to the desk, fighting the surge of rage and grief. Memories flooded back. My mother's cold voice, my father's accusing eyes, the slamming door the night they threw me out. Now they wanted rights? To the daughter they had never held, never fed, never loved. Everly appeared in the doorway. "Mom, are you okay?" I forced a smile, though tears threatened. "Just an old ghost, sweetheart." She frowned, crossing the room to hug me. "Then we'll face it together, right?" Her words undid me. I pulled her close, burying my face in her hair. "Yes," I whispered, my voice shaking. "Together." But deep down, I knew this was only the beginning. The Portland Tech Summit was supposed to be my stage of triumph. Months of preparation had gone into unveiling our latest AI system, a project Everly had helped design. As I walked onto the glass-paneled stage, the lights dazzling against the crowd, I felt the weight of victory until I spotted them. Logan and Samantha, my parents, sitting in the second row like royalty, their smug faces lit by the blue glow of the stage. My heart stuttered. "Stay calm," Tamara murmured at my side before I took the microphone. "We expected this. Remember, we've set the trap, not them." I began my presentation, words steady, though my palms dampened. But halfway through, Logan stood. His booming voice carried across the hall. "You speak of innovation, Molly, but you deny your own family their rightful place. We are her parents. We demand acknowledgement." Gasps rippled through the audience. My throat tightened. Everly sat in the front row, her eyes wide with fear. Tamara leaned forward, whispering urgently, "Now, show them." I swallowed hard and nodded. My lawyer, seated nearby, handed me a tablet. I connected it to the main display. Suddenly, the massive screen behind me filled with scanned documents, signed papers relinquishing all parental rights, dated the very month they had thrown me out. Murmurs swelled into shock. I steadied my voice. "These are the signatures of Logan and Samantha Miller. They erased me 22 years ago, and now they try to erase the truth." Samantha shot up, her voice shrill. "Those are lies, forged." But the IT specialist on my team stepped forward, voice firm. "These documents have been digitally authenticated and traced. Every signature, every timestamp, irrefutable." Silence. Then whispers like knives through the room. My parents' faces crumbled under the spotlight. But I wasn't finished. I stepped closer to the edge of the stage, my voice steady but thick with years of swallowed pain. And let me make this clear, once and for all. Logan, Samantha, you are not Everly's real grandparents. Not by blood, not by choice, not by love. Every claim you make is illegal, because you forfeited the right to call yourselves family the night you threw me out. Everly is my adopted daughter, and I love her very much. Gasps filled the auditorium. The words seemed to freeze my parents in place, their arrogance collapsing into stunned silence. For the first time in my life, they had no weapon left to wield. Everly stood in the front row, her eyes shining with tears, not of fear this time, but of pride. She mouthed a few words that nearly broke me. My beloved mother, and tears of happiness involuntarily welled up in my eyes. The aftermath of the tech summit was swift and merciless. Contracts slipped from my parents' grasp, audits descended, and every door they once slammed in my face now closed on them instead. I thought I'd feel only triumph, but what I felt most was release, as if the weight of 22 years had finally lifted. Weeks later, I stood at the ribbon cutting of the Single Mothers Foundation. Everly, radiant and proud, held the scissors beside me. Cameras flashed, but all I saw was her smile, proof that I had broken the cycle of cruelty. "Mom," she whispered, slipping her hand into mine. "This isn't just your victory, it's ours." Tears burned my eyes. "You're right, sweetheart. Everything I built so you'd never know the pain of being unwanted." Behind the crowd, I glimpsed my parents watching from a distance, shadows of who they once were. For the first time, I didn't ache for their approval. I didn't need it. I lifted my chin, cut the ribbon, and said aloud, "This foundation is for every woman told she was nothing." Today, we proved them wrong. The applause rose like thunder, drowning out the ghosts forever.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.